everyone, and welcome to my first 11 HP Ironman progress video. I am the rank 2 11 HP Ironman behind Solace, or Kemp as many of you guys know him, and if you count us as 10 HP Ironman, which we all know Kemp does, then I am the rank 3 behind Zerk and Kemp. My progress videos won't start like many others. I didn't start recording until I hit 85 combat or just before, but I will go over some of the accomplishments that happened earlier in the account, as well as the one misclick that is evident by the 11 HP. I started the account because I saw Teeks and Voz videos. It looked a lot of fun and I liked Ironman, so I combined the two. The goal was to get 85 combat and start Slayer. During that goal, we were killing the Shazian gangs and I died. Rushing back, I misclicked and clicked 4 instead of 3 and got 95 HP experience instead of 2k defense experience and instantly got 11 HP. It was on Christmas Eve and I quit for a few weeks, but decided to come back and continue the ranger grind that I was on. After 438 medium clues, 3 wizard boots, 2 holy sandals, I finally got the ranger boots. A little while later, while trying to do a master clue step, I got the Rocky Pad at 76 thieving, I believe it was. And then Zulu was hosting some sub-raids, and I got the Dragon Hunter crossbow drop, which is the best in slot that the account can get, as we cannot get the Armadillo crossbow, along with the Torn Prayer Scroll for Preserve, and then I got a D-Sword drop, which is completely useless, but it's cool, and it was let me be the first 10 HP, 11 HP Ironman to get 2 unique drops from raids. So those are the accomplishments pretty much of that we have so far before the recordings, and you'll have to excuse some of the quality issues and the lost audio on some of the clips. When I started learning how to record, I lost some of the audio, so there'll be some commentary over it, but I hope you enjoy the video. We finally completed our goal of getting 85 combat with the strength level. And I immediately went to go get my first Slayer task. Again, for the first 6 or so tasks, the quality is really bad on the clips. I apologize, but I think it's important to see the beginning of the Slayer grind. The first Slayer task we got on this account were trolls. They drop ensouled heads and herb seeds for this account. That's about all. Finish the troll task, we got blue dragons. The new Taverley dungeon is very good for 10 HP Slayer for them, and the bones are great for the account. I didn't pick up the hides as it would be a lot of banking, but we completed the task and got more trolls. After completing the troll task, we got a black demon task. This is another task that got buffed when the Chasm of Fire came out and those Neve Cave changes. They drop ensouled heads, very good experience, and also clues, which I do enjoy doing, so I definitely enjoy this task. Black Demon task, and that task we got was cow fights. It is the second best experience per hour task, and it's the most AFK one because you don't even have to move. And we completed that and finally got some Slayer points because that was our 5th task. We got 12, and then we got more trolls, and just getting kind of sick of these trolls. It's a very populated task area and a lot of people there. But it was Sunday, so we decided to go and do some of Zulu's sub-raids. In this raid, I capped at bats pretty early at like 12,500 points. So for the rest of the raid, you'll see me cutting the Muted Owl tree. It's very bad points, but it is points, and on this count, points are hard to come by. But we did complete our 34th raid in this. No drop, but we did get some Aventos and some Soul Runes, which are pretty good, and I can't complain about those. That Sunday, we also did complete another raid, our 35th. We capped pretty early again, but we did get our first Dark Relic, which is cool. And we also got some Emeralds, which are good for dueling rings. But the Dark Relic is some herb experience. It's pretty hard to get on there, and that was our first one in 35 raids, but pretty cool to have. After the sub-raids were over, we went back to Slayer and completed the Troll task, and after the troll task, we got the worst possible task for us at the moment in Steel Dragons. With only having 6 completed tasks, we didn't have the points to skip it. I died over 5 times on the task, and I found the spot, which hits like 5 or 6 hits rotation sometimes, and other times it hits like 1 to 3 So definitely not a good task, and we're planning on perming those. I did get a ruined crossbow limbs though from them, which is good for the account if I didn't have the Dragon Hunter crossbow, which does not affect your cannon, by the way. On Dragon tasks, it is not. It doesn't work for that bonus, unfortunately, unlike prayer and range bonus and everything else. But so we finished the task, Steel Dragon task, and then got Cow Fights, which was a nice relief to be able to just AFK that and just stay in one spot and load the cannon. We finished the Cow Fight task, and we got more trolls. We just constantly get trolls and then blue dragons. Blue dragons I don't mind, but the trolls are a lot. We did those though because we're not in a position to cancel with tasks we don't want to do that we can do. And then for our 10th task in a row, we got black dragons, which just a little note to those. If we do not get a visage by Night Knight Slayer, we will be grinding for that, planning to at least, at black dragons. So we're gonna extend those black dragons when we get a chance, and we use the bracelets to extend them as well, just so we can kill them on task and get different experience. And I didn't find the Slayer task till after Slayer location until after this task had ended. So we'll be using that the next time. But the area we used here for these black dragons is the area we would be grinding them after 99 Slayer. But we did the black dragon task and then got 177 blue dragons, which I said I get blue dragons a lot, and that was a lot of blue dragons. But it's very good for the account. Again, we didn't take the hides, we got the bones, and those are adding up pretty nicely. Once we finished that blue dragon task, we went back for another, and we got the 37 steel dragon task. Again, I had talked about perming this before. We finally had 132 points, and I debated for a while of whether or not to spend it or not. And ultimately, the Steel Dragon task is not the one you want to perm. When you get into higher Slayer, Abyssal Demons, Necreals, and Spiritual Creatures, if you have done Priest in Peril and Troll Stronghold, are the ones you need to perm because they have the highest task weight. But for right now, that's a while away, and I decided to perm them. And then we got more blue dragons, so the blue dragons are coming in strong, and a lot of dragon bones from it. So once again, we finished the blue dragon task. Nothing special, no hard clues, which is a little disappointing. But we did get some dragon bones and some dragon and soul heads. Then we got Dagonnoth, which is the best task for 10 HPs. They give the best experience plus herb seeds plus ensouled heads plus mediums if you're looking for rangers or anything else from those. So they are good. We ended up with 664 D-bones in the bank, so those are adding up very nicely. And then we finished that Dagonnoth task, and as you can see, there's a ton of ensouled heads and some seeds. And we got cow fights. No clues from those, but we finished that task and got a whole bunch of ensouled heads. That's 5 ensouled heads is quite a lot for that task. They don't drop them seemingly that often. But then we got back to Dags, and Dags are great always. And we did get a medium clue from that. I must have died in the middle of it before finishing that task. Pretty easy to get one shot at 11 HP. But we finished that, and just some purple elegant. It was a unique, nothing special, but so we finished that clue, and then we got some blood velds after that. So we finished our blood veld task, and we were shortening them with the bracelets. Once we get the superiors unlocked, I don't know if we'll be shortening them. Again, they were nerfed with the Neve changes or the cave changes. But they do still give clues, and the ensouled heads that they give actually are worth a decent amount of experience. So I'm not exactly sure, but we'll see with the superiors if we want to stop shortening them and actually extend them. But then we got more blue dragons, of course. So we went and did those. Nothing too special. Again. Still no clues. It's been, what, 16, 17 tasks and no hard clues that I was able to do, which is very odd. But then we got our first elf task. It's one of the reasons you're not supposed to do the elf quests. They are a pain in the butt to kill. They go on aggro very often, and just they retreat a lot. once you try and go refill your cannon. So they weren't the most fun task. It's definitely a shortened task, though they do drop clues again. Gotta love the things that drop clues. After the elf task, we got assigned more blood velds. Soon to be getting those now instead of trolls. Got 4 installed heads, which isn't too bad. And then got Dagonnoths. We obviously love Dagonnoths, and that would be our 20th task. We completed that, got 60 points, and then we got Iron Dragons. Again, they're not the most optimal perm. Again, as I said, Abbey Demons, Necros, and Spiritual Creatures, which we'd be getting assigned Spiritual Creatures pretty soon at 63 Slayer. So I was not sure, but I ultimately did decide to spend the points at 188. So I decided to perm them, and then got more blood velds. So lots of blood velds. Sunday came around again after getting signed blood velds and met Zulu sub raids again. Was our 36th raid. Finished out capping on bats again. Seems to happen pretty early during the 8-mans that we do. But got a reward of 14 Torstals and 570 something coal. I'd much prefer the other herbs. The lower level ones, or the less expensive ones. As you get more of them for the drop, and just also then equals more experience. You get 70 to 100 irrits or whatever is better than 14 Torstals or 8 Raynars or whatever. But the coal was nice. Coming in with 75 crafting, just doing the orbs I have while I have enough money buy a whole bunch of battle staves, and then we're gonna turn our cash stack into a whole bunch of ores. There we go. We can now craft Slayer rings when we unlock those. Need this cash stack. Be into ores. Had a lot of trouble getting the battle staves. Seems like a lot of people are buying them, so we're gonna move to agility. Got about 1,000 or so super energy pots to make into staminas that we'll be using for blast furnace, and while we're going to be doing agility, we'll also alch and maybe get a few mage levels and get some marks of grace for that. So that's what we'll be doing for until we finish at least all these alchs. Obviously I'm bad at this in recording, and so we have to do another commentating over this because it didn't record the audio, but we got 83 mage while doing those alchs. And just getting a bigger cash stack, and then a little later in the week we got a 92 fishing while AFK fishing barb. It's a great way to train your strength, and we've done most of it through barb fishing. And then Sunday came around, and obviously Sundays mean Zulu sub raids. We did 4 sub raids this weekend or that day, and the 37th raid that we got to do, we got 212 dynamite and 261 gold ore. The ore is not too important, but the dynamite is really good for blast mining. And if that mining Todd isn't good, blast mining is definitely the way I wanted to go, and that dynamite is very, very helpful. And then the 38th raid we did, it was only 6k points. As you'll see, it's a little lower than most of the other ones. It's one of the lowest ones. But that was just because I jumped in a raid that I wasn't expecting to be in. And so the hunter was on the bottom, so I didn't get to start getting points till wait till they almost got to Ulm. But we got 216 bloods, not blood velds, got a lot of those. And then 364 silver ore. The ore is good for that, but you don't need too much of it for the jewelry for Slayer. And the 39th raid, again, you'll see we got the expensive herbs. We got the 15 Raynars. Much rather get the 70 to 100 irrits. And 517 saltpeter, which is pretty useless. And then the 40th raid. The 40th raid is the loot you want if you're not getting an item, and that is not the 515 saltpeter, but the 6,103 pure essence. If you don't get it in this way, or maybe from like Winter Todd, which is not a lot either, you got to mine it on this account. There's no Zora, there's no Wyverns. So the pure essence is definitely the reason to be doing raids. You can mine, what, 1,700 an hour? at mats, and so that's 4 hours of mining that you need before you get to the blood rune crafting. Just finishing up this blood veil task. Should be a few more, and then we'll go get another task and see what we get. Right now we are using the Speedius bracelet to make these a little faster. When we unlock the Superior Slayers, we might actually extend them. I'm not sure. They're not the greatest experience, but also on an Ironman, prayer is very good, and as you see, it's about 5k prayer experience or so from these. There's the 21st task done, and we'll go get a new task and see what we get. I've got a lot of blue dragons lately, but those are good for the prayer experience. Not great for the experience for that Slayer experience overall, but the prayer experience is very nice. So Neve, what are you giving me? Dagonnoth, great, the best task. Coming up on 62 Slayer, very good task for experience, though a lot of people here at the moment, so getting a half experience for a lot of things that they are attacking over here and all, but you know, gotta do what you gotta do when you're an Ironman and only have cannon to kill people. So coming up on 22nd task being done. This task is always great. You gotta got ensouled heads and herbs. Loot wise is actually one of the better ones for the account. Some of the other stuff is just straight for Slayer experience and nothing else, but so how many we got left? We got 2 more. Should be any second now, unless this thing keeps procking, which alright. 22nd task done. Neve, what you giving us? What are you giving us? Spectres, first time we've had that. It's a very good task once I have a herb sack. Not great when I don't. And we're pretty far off from that. But we're gonna do it anyway, and maybe we'll just pick up less herbs, bank less often. But I do want to try and pick up enough herbs, because herbs obviously are one of the harder things to get for this account. There's the 23rd task done. First Spectre task went alright. Got a clue scroll how to drop it on the 6th step, so that kind of sucked. But all in all, it seems like a pretty decent task on all these tournaments, and it's pretty good for the herbs. So it'll be an interesting thing to see how this is once I have the herb sack, and I'll probably extend these and both with the bracelets and everything, and also it is a superior task, so it's got that going for it as well. I mean, I don't know, I don't need an imbued heart, but maybe some of the 2 staves would be pretty sweet, and they're always good to get that imbued heart. Maybe we'll transfer that, I don't know, but it'd be interesting to get on here. 24th task will be Fire Giants. It's the first one I got of those. We'll try them. I'm not wanting to cancel anything too much. I've got the 2 dragons permed, but not wanting to spend too many points, so we'll do these, even though probably sooner or later we won't be doing them. About to hit 63 Slayer. Actually, we might be 1 off here. Hopefully this task doesn't end before we get this. 6 more. Alright, should be getting it soon. There's 1. 10 experience off, of course. But this task was alright. It was the first Fire Giant task I've done. A lot of ensouled heads. They only have like 600 experience though, so not great. Probably won't continue to do these. I really like doing clues. 63. I don't think that unlocks anything. No, but 63 Slayer. Actually, it might unlock spiritual creatures. Does it unlock spiritual creatures? Yep. So that's an issue. Spiritual creatures are one of the ones that I need to have permed. So might have to perm those when we get them. But this task should be over, and then we'll see what we can get with the next task. A few seconds over here. And there we go. Neve, be nice to me, please. No spiritual creatures. Please, no spiritual creatures. We are at a risk, I believe, right now. If we go to the points, 130. Okay, so there's a little bit of risk if we get creatures. Black demons, great task. A very long task, but great tasks. About to hit 81 range. With Slayer, that comes, those range levels come pretty fast. You get about 2 times the experience that you get in Slayer for range. So when we start this big grind, when we get a few more cannonballs, range levels will be coming in pretty fast. And then once we hit 99, we'll probably start doing some bosses, some Dagonnoth, some Chaos Elemental, and such, some Mole. And we'll get on with some of the other PVM goals that we have on this account, which I guess we'll go over sometime. But until then, we'll keep slaying. Probably be around 88 Slayer is generally when I see people hit 99 range. And there's 81 range though, so keep this up. And there's the 25th Slayer task done. Black Demon's always good. No clue scroll, which is very upsetting. But, you know, what you gonna do? Seems to not get a lot of hard clues while I'm doing the Slayer. And we'll go see what Neve gets us now. I took a lot of cannonballs too. I think I had like 37,000 or so at the start of that, and now I have 32. So a lot of cannonballs on that task. But, you know, it is very fast. Hellhounds, haven't had those before. Well, I want a clue, so there we go, I guess. On the Slayer task, Hellhounds, first one we got a 64 Slayer. Didn't realize, but that Black Demon task gives a ton of experience. Didn't know we were that close, so pretty cool. Just got finished with this clue. That was the last step of it, and so we'll go to the bank real fast, bank all these lobsters, and then we'll see what we get. I think this will be the 64th hard clue. Nothing considerably good from them. A few master clues, but I haven't been able to complete those. Best thing I've gotten is just some god d'hide. So we're looking for like a Robin or some Third Age, or a Sarah Page, and that's a 66. Yeah. All right. There's the 26th task done. They were alright, I guess. Didn't seem too bad. We got a clue scroll, nothing else though. But one of the main goals is Third Age, and so the clue scrolls are nice. No prayer experience though, so we'll see if we continue to like these or not. I know I probably don't want to do Fire Giants and Trolls, and sooner or later you have to do ones you don't want or aren't optimal. But this one isn't that bad because of clue scrolls, so we'll see what Neve gives us next. Cow fights, these are great. Second best task we can get, I believe. There we go, 27th task in a row. I just had enough prayer points, it looks like. Cow fights always good. They give ensouled heads, and that's about it. And not very many ensouled heads. They're one of the better at speed tasks, though, so probably good to do them. It's a little interesting on an Ironman. Most of the time in Slayer is spent on making cannonballs, actually. So I'm wondering if the tasks you're supposed to do are different than the tasks normal 10 HPs do when they can just buy cannonballs, because then they just go for experience. But this, we might be changing some of that around based upon just the items it gives and everything, and the benefit they account more than just its speed. But I don't know, we'll figure that out. More specters. All right, I wish I really had a herb sack, but we're very significantly off, so I guess we'll do those. So just finished the clue scroll that we got from specters, I believe. Last one was that dual arena step. So we'll see what we get when we bank these, and we get some room. I forgot to build the chest I was going to build, but that's okay. Deposit all this stuff. And ooh, a master clue. Nice. Got a master clue, good teleports, good alks, all around good clue and a master. Not very good at doing these, and I don't know if I can do the Foul the Bard ones now that they've updated it, but we're going to try it. So here we go. So we did the first step of the master clue, and fortunately we can still talk to him even though they updated it, so that's cool. Got to follow the bard, and technically this is possible. 1 in 1 million drop rate from the elite guards to get either this armor helm or some Bandos boots like Music says. So yeah, guess we're gonna drop this master clue, which is sad. I mean, we did finish the first step when we survived the cabbage mage, took some gutless restores and everything, but you know, what you gonna do? That'll conclude my first 11 HP Ironman progress video. If you have any constructive criticisms, please leave them down in the comments, and I hope to see you next time in the next video.